YouTube? Rook here from Rook, Geek, Goodness, my little channel on the web for all things geeky and cool. And welcome, guys, to another Funko Pop Battle, episode number 3. Now, if you're new to this video format series, you may have never seen this before. It is a newer sort of series that I just debuted a few months back. It's my take on how to do a Funko review objectively, meaning I'm not using my own bias to talk about these particular Funko Pops. There are going to be two items going head-to-head in competition. And what I mean by that is I'm looking at how the Funko Pop is presented to myself. I'm looking physically what I see in front of me. I take apart all things in consideration. I look at any gimmicks they may have. And what I define as gimmicks is things like exclusivity. If it's exclusive, let's say a Hot Topics or a Walgreens. Is it glow in the dark? Is it flocked? Is it scented? Those would be considered quote-unquote gimmicks that would help the Funko Pop in a particular battle going head-to-head in a shared universe. So in episode number 1 I did Power Rangers. Episode number 2 I did Star Wars. Episode number 3 I talked about it on a recent stream. I'm going to go to the world of professional wrestling. Probably the two greatest professional wrestlers in the modern era. Who are we talking about? We're going AJ Styles versus the cleaner Kenny Omega, or the phenomenal AJ Styles against Kenny Omega. Two guys I think probably are the greatest wrestlers right now in their generation. And I want to go to the table here and look at these guys head to head. Which is the better Funko Pop itself? And let me know in the comment section, which do you think is better? AJ Styles or Kenny Omega? Stay tuned, guys. We're going to another Funko Pop battle. Alright, guys, we're in a breakdown segment of Funko Pop Battle episode number 3. And the very first thing we always do in a breakdown segment, either in a Funko Pop Battle or in a normal video review, is look at the packaging and design as a whole. Since I'm not going to review them both at the same time, I'll do them one by one. I'll start with AJ Styles. This is your typical WWE packaging that they had when these figures came out a couple years ago. And this figure in particular was his WWE debut at the Royal Rumble. That's the gear that you see him sporting right here. We have Pops, I believe WWE, yes, number 37 with the WWE logo. A nice window box display of the phenomenal one himself. You have a nice shot of him right here with his hands out. It does say AJ Styles. You have the little hologram logo of WWE, what they normally have as a brand piece, as their IP. They always do that in all their WWE figures. You have a side shot of him right there. Very, very cool design. Over here you have where it says AJ Styles number 37. And on the back of the packaging showcases him right there. That's how he looked and debuted in WWE's Royal Rumble, reminiscent right there, that same side shot, and all the figures that were available in this particular wave. And let's bring in Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega wrestles for New Japan Pro Wrestling, or he did. Now he's wrestling for a company called All Elite Wrestling, or AEW. It's a brand new wrestling federation, just debuted this year. Up at the top here, it just has pop, nothing spectacular. You have the New Japan Pro Wrestling logo. This is where this figure comes from. Number 1 in that series. Another window box display with his hand up in a gun position. He's known as quote-unquote part of the Bullet Club. At one time, he was the leader of the Bullet Club, and so was AJ Styles. AJ was the leader before Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega kicked out AJ Styles when AJ was coming into the WWE, and then Kenny Omega became leader of Bullet Club. Just a little knowledge drop for you guys. Nice side shot of him right there. It does say Kenny Omega, not the cleaner, but just Kenny Omega. We have a nice little side shot of him, dark packaging. We have Kenny Omega listed right there, number 01, and on the back it does showcase the Bullet Club logo, which is right here. Dark design. You have both Kenny Omega right here and Cody Rhodes, or known as Cody because of copyright issues, but WWE does not allow him to use the Rhodes name, unfortunately. So let's bring them both in. So you look at them side by side. Very similar design boxes, very, very similar shapes that, as far as all Funko Pops go. If we look over here on this side, it does have the names. And on this side, the Kenny Pop is more dark in color, while the AJ is more light in color. And of course, you have, as mentioned right here, the same name right there. And the back of the packaging, very, very cool packaging. Again, you have the darker Bullet Club over here, and you have the lighter AJ Styles one right there. But both designs are very, very good, comparatively speaking, between both of these pops. So let's get these guys out of package and continue the Funko Pop battle. Alright, guys, we have a phenomenal AJ Styles and the cleaner Kenny Omega out of packaging. The very first thing we always do in a Funko Pop Battle objective-based video review is look at the paint and presentation. I'm going to take Kenny out of the shot right now and focus strictly on AJ Styles. Now, you may or may not notice this, but the gear he has on right now, this darker black and grayish gear with the blue gloves and the black vest, was part of his debut gear for the Royal Rumble when he debuted back, I believe, in 2016. I could be wrong on the date, but I think it's 2016. This is how his gear normally looks. I looked at his Mattel figure, which is the same colored gear set that this figure is showcasing right here. So it's sort of a throwback to that first appearance when he debuted at the Royal Rumble. I love how the gear looks. Very, very clean paint. No real issues. I mentioned before, sort of dark colored leggings. He has the blue gloves right here, brown hair. He has the beard and the little goatee right there. And he does have the hood that he normally has on when he comes down the ramps on either when he was on SmackDown for a while and now on Raw. He normally have the hood on his head. When it comes down with his song, he would put his hands out like the pose you see here and throw the hood back. That's sort of his gimmick pose, if you will. Now, if we look at the articulation, he does have some. Head will spin 360, no hindrance, doesn't lock up. It is not a bobblehead. Very thankful about that. Very clean design. Love the way he looks. No special gimmicks for this guy, meaning he's not glow in the dark. He's not flocked. He was not a chase pop. He was not an exclusive. He's considered quote-unquote a common pop, and I love him. Looks great. Now let's bring in the cleaner Kenny Omega. If you didn't know, Kenny Omega was the leader at one time of Bullet Club, and so was AJ Styles. In their different iterations of Bullet Club, they were both leaders. So AJ was the leader, and Kenny kicked out AJ, if you were not aware. So he was the leader of the group called the Bullet Club. It was sort of a radical faction in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is where Kenny made his big break, if you did not know that. And the Bullet Club was sort of like a throwback to the old NWO days. That's what it feels like to me. It's sort of a modern era of NWO. If you remember WCW wrestling back years and years ago in the mid-90s, if I remember correctly, mid-90s is when NWO and the Monday Night Wars were all about. That was the whole big rebel faction. That's what the Bullet Club was all about. And Kenny looks really, really good. Great design for Kenny. He's got this black colored leggings with the green trim on his boots right here. His hair, he normally has a sort of little braid in his hair right here. You might notice this. That he does have in real life. It's sort of his thing. He's also, sort of the Bullet Club are known as shooters like this. That means someone who shoots on someone in wrestling. It's wrestling nomenclature. That's why he has a gun out, and that's sort of the Bullet Club. That was the feeling of Bullet Club when Finn Balor, Fergal Devitt, that was his real name, which was Finn Balor, created the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Just knowledge drop for you guys today on the Funko Pop Battle. But he looks really, really good. Very clean design to mention. His body structure looks very, very similar to the AJ Styles pop, meaning the body type is very, very similar between both these pops. Articulation is good. Head will spin 360, and you get a little bit of sticking because of the hair right here. So I might ding that a little bit for Kenny because there's no clearance with the braids on both sides. So you can't get full 360. You can get pretty far, but not entire 360 on this figure. He has a little goatee right there as well, and he has some dark beard right there. Dark colored eyes like most Funko Pops. The gear for him, I believe, but I could be wrong, I think he had this gear when he went against Cody Rhodes or Kota Ibushi. One of the two guys, I can't remember where this gear debuted, but I think it was part of when he was with Kota Ibushi with the Golden Lovers. But I could be wrong on it. Don't hold me to it. So let me bring them both into the shot again so you get both figures side by side. They both look great. That's the front shot. That's a side shot, the back of both figures, and of course the other side. Both figures are very, very similar in design and body structure, as I mentioned before. The buck is very, very similar between both characters. Neither character needs a figure stand. Again, they're both not gimmicked. There's no gimmicks between either of these two pops, and I think it's a judgment call. Which do you think, the viewers, the subscribers, which do you think is the better Funko Pop? With that being said, let's go to final thoughts and wrap up this video. Alright guys, final thoughts on the Funko Pop Battle episode number 3, the Pro Wrestling Edition. Of course, we had the phenomenal AJ Styles against the cleaner Kenny Omega. Both these are very, very good Funko Pops on their own. Both of them are common pops, meaning you can pretty much get them anywhere. There's no exclusivity between either of these pops. AJ is a little more tougher to find in the wild now, where Kenny, you can still really get him at Targets and at Walmarts. Articulation, very similar between the two here. There's no other real gimmicks between the two. Also, they share pretty much the same body type. They're not big, massive guys. They are in the same scale as well. Would I recommend buying these? Absolutely. If you're a pro wrestling fan, if you like both of these characters, both of these wrestlers, I highly recommend picking up not just one, but both of them, because they're both very, very good pops. But I can't make a judgment call. I'm sort of right down the middle. Again, my objective call on this. I want to know from you guys, the viewers, the subscribers, which pop do you think won this Funko Pop battle? The phenomenal AJ Styles from the WWE, or the cleaner Kenny Omega from AEW fame, now a brand new wrestling federation? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll let you know what I think in an upcoming stream. Remember to click that like button. Always click subscribe. When you subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon to be notified of my latest videos. Of course, last but not least, you can click Windows over here to watch more of my content. Take care, guys. See you next video, and bye-bye.